Welcome to Man City Fan TV. This is the Fantasy Football League Game Week 2 review. So we're going to review some of the performers and some of the players that didn't do too well. First of all, we're going to start with the forwards. So you can see here, this is the list of forwards. So that's the total points, but I'm going to go to the round points. So that's this week's points for Game Week 2. And you can see here that the man of the moment is Pukki from Norwich. He managed to get a hat-trick this week, so 17 points in this second game week, so he's got 24 points overall. Alexander Lacazette had a good week as well. He managed 8 points. Then we've got Firmino down on 8 points. We've got Chicharito. He had a good week for West Ham, so little P. Chicharito had a good week there. You've got Aubameyang, Obama what? He managed to get 6 points on the board. And then we've got King from Bournemouth, obviously Sergio Aguero, Rashford, Danny Ings as well. Danny Ings got 6 points. So if you managed to have Danny Ings in your team, you made a good choice. Although if he didn't miss that sitter at the end of the game, he would have had a much better score this week. And obviously that would have been good for City to see Liverpool drop some points, but that wasn't to be. And then as we scroll down, you can see here Wilson, Barnes, Wesley, Murray, Wood. So some of the usual suspects. I mean, Harry Kane, he's down here on 2 points. Obviously didn't really get a touch of the ball against City. So in terms of the forwards, so it's all about Pukki. Pukki's the man from Norwich. If you had him in your side, well done. Fantastic selection in game week 2. And you probably want to stick with him because the guy's on fire at the moment. And obviously when he was purchased, he was pretty cheap. So not a bad player to have in the team there. So let's go ahead and look at the midfielders. And you can see the star man for game week 2 was Mane from Liverpool. And I'm happy about that because Mane was in my team and he was actually my captain this week. So I am happy about that. Although I'm not happy when Liverpool players are doing well, if you know what I mean. And then we've got Lamela. Obviously Lamela scored at the Etihad. So Lamela got 12 points. We've got Ceballos for Arsenal. So he made his home debut. And by all accounts, he was fantastic for Arsenal. He scored 11 points. So then we've got Bernard from Everton. He's a tricky little player. Managed to get 11 points on the board. Obviously our Kevin De Bruyne there, 11 points. And if any of you had Kevin De Bruyne as the captain, that's a pretty good choice as well. Albeit he could have scored many more. I mean, he had opportunities in that game where he could have added to his point tally there. And then we've got Mount from Chelsea. Obviously, Mount scored the goal for Chelsea against Leicester. So he gets 10 points on the board. We've got Ndidi at Leicester 10, Cantwell at Norwich. And then the old Manchester City boy, Douglas Luiz. He scored an absolute scorcher this weekend for Aston Villa. So he brings in 9 points as well. And then if you look further down, we've got your likes of Wilson, Shelvey, Lanzini, Moutinho's in there as well. We've got Martial for United. He's on 7 points. And then we've got Neves down to Raheem Sterling. So Raheem Sterling just the 6 points this week. So those are your midfielders. And it's all about Mane in game week 2. Kevin De Bruyne as well was there or thereabouts. And we're going to take a look at the defenders for game week 2. And you can see the best defender this week was actually Lundstram from Sheffield United, and partly because he actually scored a goal as well. So well done to anybody who picked Lundstram, and I can't imagine there've been many people out there. You can see there are only 11.6% of people actually had Lundstram in their team. We've got Lucas Digne at Everton. He brought in 11 points. We've got Mina as well from Everton, 7 points. So Everton's defence had a good weekend. Obviously, they kept a clean sheet against Watford. We've got Stevens at Sheffield United. They also had a clean sheet against Crystal Palace. And then we've got Michael Keane, another Everton player there. Some other Sheffield lads, O'Connell, Egan and Basham. Seamus Coleman for Everton as well. And then we've got Liam Dunk, Evans. And then we come into the Arsenal players here. Maitland-Niles on 2 points. Socrates is actually in my team. He only brought me 2 points. I thought they would get a clean sheet, but they conceded that goal to Ashley Barnes. So it wasn't the best week defensively. And it's probably not the wisest move for me to have Arsenal defenders in my fantasy team because, let's be honest, their defence is a little bit of a mess. So you can see as we scroll down the list, some Chelsea players in there, and then you've got some Crystal Palace players. So it wasn't the best weekend really defensively. Even the big teams, so the likes of your Van Dijks or Harry Maguire at United and your Laportes at City. Obviously, everybody conceded goals. Even the big teams conceded goals this weekend. So you picked up a lot of valuable points. If you had some of these cheaper defenders from the lower teams, and no disrespect to Everton there, I'm calling you a lower team, but you are really, aren't you? So if you had some of those lower team defenders, you would have had a good week. So let's move on to the goalkeepers then. Who was the best goalkeeper this week? It was Henderson at Sheffield United. That's not Jordan Henderson. I can't even remember his first name actually, the Sheffield goalkeeper, but well. Patricio from Wolves. We've got Pickford in there. We've got Ramsdale. So you can see all those teams kept a pretty tight ship this week. Their goalkeepers are at the top. And you've got Leno for Arsenal, Schmeichel, Lloris, and as we scroll down, you've got David De Gea there, obviously conceded a goal against Wolverhampton. And as we move down the list, Ederson's just bringing in 1 point in this game week 2 because City's defence was a little bit sloppy, wasn't it? It was a little bit suspect at the weekend. Even though we only conceded 2 shots on target, we conceded 2 goals. So if you had any City players, then that would have obviously worked against you. So those are the players for game week 2. But what I'm going to do now is take a look at the overall statistics. So we can see Pukki is leading the way for the forwards. You've got Rashford, he's the second best forward in the Fantasy League at the moment. Ashley Barnes, Harry Kane, Firmino, Origi, Aubameyang, Aguero, and you've got the likes of Chicharito, Lacazette. So those are your best strikers. So there's some value in maybe Ashley Barnes. This might be a player you want to look at. Ashley Barnes is only 6.6 million. Obviously, Pukki is a bargain. I mean, he's top of the charts at the moment. Will he drop off? The likelihood is he will do. But then there's value as well in the likes of Origi. I mean, Origi's still in there. He does get some game time for Liverpool. And also Wilson at Bournemouth. There's some great value there for 8 million for Wilson at Bournemouth. So do look out for some of those players at the top of this list who you could potentially get for quite cheap. And then we're going to look at the overall midfielders, and this is where City come in and dominate. You've got Raheem Sterling. He's the top performing midfielder in the Fantasy Football League. De Bruyne is second, so City have got 1 and 2 when it comes to midfielders in the league. Obviously Mo Salah's in there as well. Riyad Mahrez is in the top 4, so for all those Mahrez haters like Andy, he's in there, Andy. He's doing well. And then you've got Mane, Martial, Ndombele, Bernard, Ndidi, Lamela. So where's the value here? You're probably wondering where the value is. And you can see the likes of Ndidi. There's some good value there if you want to replace one of your midfielders. He's only 5 million at Leicester. And the new guy for Arsenal, Ceballos, and I can hardly pronounce that, Ceballos, I think it is, 5.6 million. So that's quite a good price for a midfielder, especially one who's started off so well and he's already getting the Arsenal fans giddy. So that might be a player you want to bring in as well. So we'll just look quickly at the defenders. And the best defenders in the league at the moment are Digne at Everton. And he's pretty good value, so he's 6 million. Lundstram, he's in second place in the overall defenders chart. And then you've got the likes of Peters at Burnley. Maitland-Niles has been quite a steady performer so far. You've got the likes of Bowley at Wolves. He's always pretty much steady Eddie throughout this season. You've got Socrates at Arsenal as well. And then the City defenders are few and far between on this list. But you see Kyle Walker's in there. And as we move down, the Ballon d'Or winner himself, Maguire, is in there as well. So Maguire will be there or thereabouts, you'd imagine, when United start to park that bus a bit more. And then the best goalkeepers in the league, pretty easy at the moment. Patricio at Wolves, Pickford at Everton, De Gea. And if you scroll down the list, Ederson isn't doing as well as we would expect, but that will probably improve. City have got a nice run of fixtures, so if you've got Ederson in your team, that's probably a good move because we do have a better run coming up. So those are the overall rankings for the players. So let's go ahead and look at the Man City Fan TV League, because this is what we're all interested in. And just as in game week 1, the leader is Chris Domsey. And Chris Domsey is on 161 points. So he's leading in the league at the moment. Didn't have the best game week in week 2, but managed to pull 161 points overall. You've got Random second there, who is randomly in second on 158 points. We've got 2 girls, 1 schluck. Bald Frauds 93-20. PK Blinders, the Citizens. We're going to go through the list. We've got Centurions FC in 7th. We've got Crude Oil in 8th. We've got Broken Benjamin in 9th. Scotty's Ballers in 10th. Sterling Silver, that's Leon Birkinshaw, in 11th. We've got Guardiola's Grubber in 12th. As we scroll down, we've got Usman Iqbal there with his Usma Kappa team in 12th position. And let's just scroll down the list. We've got Abby, Blue Moon Rising FC. She's doing well there in 16th place. And as we scroll down, Kamal. So Kamal's a regular. Equin Mangala FC's doing very well there on 19 and 135 points. And as we scroll down the list, just going to pull out a few names that jump out at me as we go. We've got Rodri Trotter there in 30th, Ray Hill on 122 points. We've got obviously the main man himself, Andy Turner from Man City Fan TV. He's on 31 and he's on 122 points. So position 31, 122 points. Messed Up FC are not that messed up at the moment. They're doing quite well, 121 points in 33rd. And as we scroll down, my dear wife is beating me at the moment. Kiam's Wife FC, he's on 118 points in 37th. So winning the battle of the Kiam household at the moment. And as we scroll a bit further down, you can see Faisal there. Balsharaf MCFC, 117 points, 41st position. We've got Kiam in 58th position. So I'm sort of mid-table. You could call me a bit of a, I don't know, what am I? I'm a bit like a West Ham or a Watford at the moment. So I'm in 58. Then we've got Game of Stones in 59th position. I love that name. On 110 points. And we're going to look at some regular names. We're going to scroll down a little bit more. We've got Iona Beats there on 103 points in position 69. And as we scroll down again, you can see we've got Rob. So Rob Raw, it's Raw Shambles FC. He's on 98 points. He's not yet cracked the 100-point barrier. And he's in position 80. So Robbie's stuttering a little bit. Sort of in the, where is he in the league? You class him as like a Newcastle, maybe? So Newcastle Rob at the moment. Are you happy with that? And then as we scroll down the list, you can see we've got Pep's Club Heaven there in 90th position on 93 points. Blue Moon, Morgan Griffiths, 90 points on 93rd position. And Bestie Blue Army, 89 points in 95th position. And then we've got a few more this week. The league's grown a little bit this week. We've got 113 people now in the league. So as we carry on down this list, you can see Charles Deneen Dynamos, 81 points. You're in 102nd position. So you're in a real relegation battle there, Mr. Deneen. You need to get back to basics, get that back four sorted out, get your team in good shape and get them out in game week 3 and try and get some points back. And then we've got Ryan Corrie here. Rodri Inc., 69 points, 109. But I think, to be fair to Ryan, he actually left the league and then restarted in game week 2, so he is slightly behind. So that's not a bad score really, to be honest. You can come back from that. And then bottom of the league at the moment, and I can see that this is somebody who would have just joined the league recently. So early days, football crazy there on 113. So that's the league table. Thank you all for watching, and I'm going to give you some instructions now on how you can go ahead and sign up for this league. To fantasy.premierleague.com, and once you've logged in and created a profile, All you have to do is go to the Leagues tab at the top, click on Create and Join New Leagues, click on Join a League, join a private league, and then you just have to enter this code XLVA6E. Once you enter that code, hit Join League and then you're in. Thanks for watching, guys, and good luck with the rest of the Fantasy League season. Take care.